What's poppin', y'all? Welcome to the Pull-Up Show. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, a.k.a. B Jizzle. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull-Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos, hit that like button. Y'all come in here, hit the share, subscribe as well. Let's get it poppin'. All right, so we in the tire shop. I'm getting my new tire right now. So if you guys see people working on my car, that's what's happening. I'm getting a new tire, my front right tire. So, yeah, don't mind that. But LA Clipper Talk, we back at an effect. If you guys did not see my first video with the Lakers of what's been going on with them, go check out that video about the problem that's been going on with the Lakers. You know what I'm saying? Good insight on that. But I want to talk about the Clippers, you know, our team, LA Clipper Talk, back in effect. Back after, you know, doing the media the other night against the Portland Trailblazers. If y'all have not seen that video, go check that out as well. I put that. I asked Norman Powell and Ty Lue questions. They'll be back bringing me for the entire season. So make sure y'all check that out as well. And be in tune with a lot of different coverage this off season. In season. But the Clippers took a nasty defeat yesterday, 108-80, losing by 28 points. Not really having much of anything, you know, good happen last night. James Harden went 1 for 10 last night. I think he had last night I think he had like 5 points. I stopped watching the game entirely until like when he got out in the third quarter, which was like 5:18. Norman Powell did not play. Terrence Mann did not play. Kevin Porter Jr. didn't play. Of course, Kawhi wasn't there. So that's 4 key players in our rotation, stars who did not play last night. And I think that kind of, you know, put James Harden in a situation where he had to, you know, be forced to score, which he just couldn't against a fully loaded Minnesota Timberwolves team that we just lost to last week. You know, it is what it is at the end of the day. You know, I'm not so entirely, you know, upset about the loss. We had to play our third stringers within the third quarter. Like, a lot like the Houston game against Houston where, you know, Bones, Jordan Miller, Kobe Brown, Kai Jones, those guys like that, they got burned in the fourth quarter. And I think some in the third quarter because we were getting beat so bad. But the difference is we had more of our guys in the game, like Terrence Mann and Norman Powell, and the guys that, you know, didn't play the game before last night. We had the other game against Houston, which is a little bit, you know, refreshing to see that we didn't have like our guys, and we can't really say that this team was basically, you know, struggling. Minnesota, we had a chance to beat them last week without Norman Powell, without Kawhi, of course. So I think in a series we'll beat the Timberwolves. But I want to talk about something a little bit more, you know, serious. If y'all ain't been seeing, like, it's been player after player, injury after injury, you know, within the last few weeks of what's been going on with the Clippers, where we haven't been able to, you know, be healthy. You know, we're losing guys. We lost Kevin Porter Jr. To an ankle injury against Minnesota. Terrence Mann the other night with a finger injury against the Portland Trailblazers. Who else am I thinking of? Am I missing? I mean, Norman Powell with the hamstring, of course. You know, he's back, but he's on minutes restriction. He didn't play last night because of, you know, management. So, you know, you're going through the grind of the season where you're going to have, you know, little knickknacks here and there. And I hate to say it, but it's probably going to be more of that because you got more guys being put with more responsibility unless you continuously ride on the young guys and allow them to play more minutes because, you know, they ain't got no burn at all this year, so they're refreshed, so they can play, you know, heavy minutes here and there like last night. So I was more so in tune to what the third stringers and, you know, the new guys came in. I was seeing what they want to do because, you know, look, we just didn't have it last night. Like, we played off a back-to-back. Guys were out, guys were injured. Norman Powell didn't, you know, play, which would, you know, carried a huge load off of James Harden. You know, Kevin Porter Jr. You didn't have a backup point guard for James Harden, and then Terrence Mann was a defender that you didn't have for James Harden. So all the things that would have helped James Harden in that game, he didn't have. So that's why he got subbed out early in the third quarter. That's why he sat down, and I think that was a smart thing to do. And I think also I'm gonna put a little bit something else on there. I think James Harden's going to need a couple games off as well. It's just quite crazy because one of the questions I asked Ty Lue was about his durability. And that was one of the most, you know, impressive things about James Harden. And he said that, you know, he doesn't want to sit out, even if it's 4 games in 5 nights, that he doesn't want to sit out any games. And I'm telling myself, like, damn, he's 35, going on 36. He's probably the most durable player on the team, which is, you know, crazy that he's just a, you know, natural hooper. So that's a credit to him. But they're going to have to, you know, probably get him to sit down because, you know, yes, his whole career he's been durable. But you don't want to maybe take that risk with this team, you know. Kawhi, from what I'm hearing, is not looking like he's gonna be coming back anytime soon. And don't ask me what that means anytime soon, but by what I was told on Tuesday, he's still taking his time to come back on the court. He can come back physically, but I think they're just really being precautions. So they got 3 days off this week, and where they're gonna be practicing, and it's going to take some time. They're dealing with somebody that, has a history with that knee. So they're not going to put their biggest investment, at risk. As frustrating as it may be for fans and his teammates and all that, and his coaches, it's about Kawhi's health, because he is the long-term investment. He's the guy that's going to get us a championship if it comes down, to that. So they got to make sure they protect him at all costs and make sure he's healthy for the playoffs. But this coming into this season, it was going to be, a year of, we're going to see what we're made of without, the services of Paul George and Russell Westbrook. And, it's going to look like a totally different team. So there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be peaks and valleys. Minnesota, like I said, they're coming off, they're 3 games in. They won 3 games in a row against us twice and against the Lakers. After Andy Edwards called the team out, called them being soft and not, following the coach's plan. And, they're rolling right now. That's what a true leader is supposed to do. You're going to have these, moments in the season where you're going to need your guys to come in, your main guy to come in and tell the team, like, hey, we got to get our stuff together. And you guys are seeing what's happening. But I don't really judge our 2 losses against Minnesota, like, entirely in the season or series, because I feel like in a series, we'll be able to take care of Minnesota, pretty evenly. And I didn't really talk too much about them. I said they're going to be, in the playoffs. I think they're going to, still be a very competitive team. I didn't think Julius Randle, who killed us in the first quarter, was a bad move. A lot of people thought that was going to be a bad move for the Timberwolves. I didn't. I think they lacked, interior toughness. I think they lacked another playmaker, because people say, well, Anthony Edwards don't have really nobody to help him play like outside Mike Conley. Well, now you got Julius Randle, who can bring the ball up, who can score in transition, who can shoot the 3. He's tough inside, he's tough interior. Not the greatest defender, but he's solid. He can hold his weight. Guard positions around probably 2 to 4, maybe 3 to 4. Strong as an ox. So I didn't think that was a bad move to get Julius. I think Julius Randle is a good player. In the playoffs, he's had his shortcomings, but he's on a team now with Minnesota where he's coming off a conference finals appearance, and with the Knicks, he had a good season with them last year. I think he averaged close to 30 points per game or something like that. So, sometimes it's just about your environment. And I think Julius Randle is a tough-nosed player that, can help the Timberwolves. I think Dante DiVincenzo, even though he's not shooting the ball particularly well, he brings another level of defense there as well. I think Minnesota is they're ranked number 11th or 12th in defense, which is not terrible, which is not what it was last year. But they have the same pieces outside of Karl Anthony Towns, and they have to take some time to gel. It's going to take time with new players, to gel. So at the end of the day, Minnesota, to me, they're gonna be there. They're gonna be in the conference. They're gonna be in the playoffs, because you look through the West. I mean, everybody's bunched into each other. Like, we just dropped to the 7th seed last night after being the 4th. After 1 loss, and we play Houston on Sunday. So, we gotta see how that game goes. Houston's one of the top 3 seeds in the Western Conference as well. It's like from seeds 3 through 11, like everything is kind of bunched in. It's crazy, but I digress from that. But the Clippers, like I said, man, took a loss last night. I thought again was more of like a loss that was kind of marked on the marked down, because we didn't have our guys, and I think sitting out Norm, sitting out Terrence Mann, Kevin Porter Jr. is hurt, and then James Harden getting pulled within like halfway the 3rd quarter. That kind of was right on the wall. Like, they weren't going to come back and win that game. So it was more of an opportunity for the young guys, the 3rd stringers to get their burning. Like Bones Highland, I think he had 18 points. And, I've been watching his body language all season. And I think it's going to come to a point where they're going to probably have to move off of Bones, because, look, it's like I said, it's a long season. And when you have a player who's, feel like he's supposed to be out there playing like Bones, and he's not getting his playing time, it's only, you're wasting that guy. He's 23 years old. We've seen Bones Highland play at a good level. We've seen him play at a high level. We've seen him against the, Phoenix Suns, where he dropped 37 points. We see him in a playoff game where he dropped, I think, 20-something points against the Suns. We've seen him, last year in the preseason being one of the, if not the best player in the preseason before James Harden came. So I just think, the Harden move, and, Kevin Porter Jr. being there as well, You know, being a backup point guard, it's a lot for Bones to digest, where he gets into the game and he don't really have a purpose to really play hard because he's not getting what he feel like he deserves. So send him off somewhere he's gonna get a chance to really, you know, be the star player or be the, you know, starting point guard. Like, you know, a team that needs a point guard in his presence. Somebody told me that Washington would be a great place. I think Bones is from the East Coast anyway, so he went to college in Virginia. I think that would be a good team for him. Washington ain't doing much in the Eastern Conference. A good chance for him to, you know, bring up that team. They got Alex Sarr there. They got Kyle Kuzma there. They got Honus Valanciunas, I think, is there as well. They got some good pieces, but they just don't have the players. So I think Bones would be a good fit over there in Washington. But, you know, Jordan Miller getting his time, getting his minutes. He's going to be part of the future, going to be part of the core. Kyle Jones, I'm not so sure about him. Mo Bamba, I'm not so sure about him either. So it's a lot of different things that, you know, it's kind of just up in the realms, especially until Kawhi comes back. So it's going to be a bumpy ride for everybody, man. But I hope everybody enjoyed this video, man. LA Clipper Talk. Until next time, pull up, see, pull up, check, pull up. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.